Hello everyone, welcome back to Trends on Tuesday. Part 2 of the reconstruction. I'm sorry to say it's been 5 weeks since I did part 1 and really nothing has happened here. It's exactly as we left it 5 weeks ago. But we got a rainy day today and maybe I can get a little bit of work done. Anyway, it's not true to say that nothing has happened. A few things have happened, so let's walk you around and take a look and see where we're at as we start this one. Here we go. So as we left at the end of part 1, I had that piece of benchwork in there to there. This piece still waiting to go on. Faceboard still waiting to go on here. And the reason for not getting on along with that is because we had to decide what we were going to do here, where it's going to meet into here. So I had my lumber yard in there and I thought now it would be nice to have a road servicing that, and way off over here I've always had this little piece of road in here and I've got a crossing gate there. But there never was a crossing. Now if I can build that crossing in here, if I can arrange the track so that comes in here, then I can get onto a road here and I can run into the lumber yard. But I got looking at this and it's a long way back into there. If I get any derailed cars or if things need dusting or something, and then of course there's always my display cabinets that I might want to get into. And way up in the corner of the ceiling there I have my winter shutoff for my tap, outdoor tap. So I've got to have access there, and that's over 5 feet back there. So that area in there, the grey area there, that's the intermodal yard. So that'll be loaded up in containers and trucks. Well, they can always be moved out, and I can stand there to access what I need to. Back here where the lumber yard was, I will have another area with lumber on it and virtually nothing else. So I'll be able to just clear that away, one step here, one step there, and I'm up there. Nice and easy. Anyway, I thought, don't get too greedy, so I ended up putting this one in here. Don't get too greedy for space. So I put that one in there, and then I got looking at the space I got here, and I thought, well, that track's going to stay there. This one can be moved. I gotta have a fence. I need piles of lumber. I need a track, more lumber, buildings, fences, and a road. I'm out of space. So now I'm looking at adding this one on, just to give me that extra 4 inches or so of space here. That will line me up quite nicely with that road over there again. So that's what it's come down to. So that's what we're going to do. In addition to that, this is the building I always had in the lumber yard. Now this is an old style building and I don't really understand how they handle lumber in there, what the purpose of the tower is, all that sort of stuff. I didn't know that. I also have 2 actually of these ones. Very similar. Lumber's handled inside there, open racks. But again, I don't understand the mechanics of how lumber arrives there, what's done with it, and where it goes, how they get it out of there. Anyway, 2 of those there that I can make into one. And then I remembered I had a Walton & Sons Lumber Co. kit. So there. This kit can be made up as you see there, or it can be made up as you see there. Well, that's virtually that again. Again, how is lumber handled in there? I don't know. They've got a track running in to the building there. I don't know. So what I've come down to thinking I will do is I will build this area here as a modern day lumber reload center. So I'll have a single track down the center of it, lumber piles on either side, forklifts, trucks bringing in the lumber, a small maintenance building, supplies building, fuel tank for the forklifts, and a small office building. And we'll go modern. And as for this, well, beautiful kit. All right there, brand new. If I can't find somewhere else for it, that might end up being a giveaway prize. Maybe when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Something to think about. Anyway, let's get to work here. Time for a tea break. It's evening, so I'm not drinking coffee. Well, we're getting there. What a lot of work. I think we'll walk it around again and just give you an idea of what this looks like. Okay, as we enter the layout room, we still have the Prairie Branch here. It's got all the British stuff on it that I bought. Well, not all of it, but some of the British stuff that I bought this year. Back in June, May, June. I can still run the odd train along here. But as we enter the room, where the layout is, there's my mountains piled up on the top of the track. All kinds of stuff. I did put this little section here back on and got the turntable there, roundhouse sitting on top of tracks, more junk. I put that section back in, that lift out section that leads through into that other room there, and I left the door off there so that I can duck under there and go through into the other room if I want to. Now all that stuff that's piled up on there is the stuff that was on here. When I took it off, I first moved it down the other end, but then when I got adding that 4-inch shelf on, I had to move it again. So it went over here. Now, this is the area that I'm working on now. This is complete, but now I've got to get into here. I have said many times that this was all put down temporary. I didn't know didn't have a track plan, didn't know if it was going to work, so I just, well, when I actually ran out of good plywood to cut up and screw down, I just started laying bits and pieces of different materials on top of one another. Doesn't even fill all the holes, but as you can see, none of this, none of it at all, not even this piece, was ever fitted down. Just laying here. So I knew at one point it was going to have to come up and get done properly. So we're getting on with that now. Now all the materials that were in here, the oil refinery and some buildings that were in here, they've all now gone down and filled in the space down there where the other stuff was. This part of the layout no longer functions. I've pulled too many wires out. It's going to be fun putting that back. Anyway, that's that. I've got boxes stashed up there, or stacked up there. They've come out from underneath there. Some of them. I don't actually even have enough room for all the boxes now underneath there. But I got to get under there to do work anyway. So that's why they're out. It is very hard to move in here. Very hard to find any space to do anything. But anyway, next move is to get the rest of this stuff off of here and put a proper base down. Okay, so that's all off. You can see the structure now. What we call 1x4s, what the English call 4x1s, 1x4s to us, all in here at 2-foot spacings all the way down, and a framework all around, 2x2 legs about 6 feet apart. And then there was this frame, which is odd shaped to fit the space, and I never did put reinforcing pieces across this. So I'm going to pull the workbench out from there, get in there, brace this in a couple of spots, and then I'm going to start laying the track down again. Well, not the track, but the base. I can take you around here and just show you my bus wires running all the way around under the layout. This yellow one is common, so every controller, the negative, hooks into this wire. The blue one is power cab A, which is way over there, just about make it out there. The black one, black and orange. So from all the control stations, the block stations, they are wired into this, and the power goes from power pack A into this, through this, and then through the switches to the track. This is power pack B, orange or red. In addition to that, there's this one, and by the way, I've got plenty to spare of this stuff, but there's this other wire here, this one, which is what we call a 7-pair telephone cable. There are 14 wires there. I think it's 18 gauge or 20 gauge, fairly thin, but there's enough wire in there for me to hook up a power pack on this corner, let's say, into that, and it will push power through that wire anywhere around the layout, because that wire goes all the way around, and each of those wires, each of those 14 wires, is capable of running about 12 LEDs. So that's for lighting in buildings and wherever else, other accessories. So that's basically my my wiring under the layout. And as you can see, I got all kinds of other junk in here, old turntables and all kinds of stuff stored away underneath here. It's not all railway stuff, but a lot of it is. Anyway, on to the next stage. Well, I'm certainly glad to have that piece on. That piece has been bothering me. Odd shape. I thought there was going to be a lot of trouble to get that on there. Cut and fitted. This piece isn't actually square to the rest of it, so I've had to adjust this piece of plywood to make it fit. But it's here. Good stuff. Well guys, this video has gone on a little long, so I think before we get into part 3, we'll call this end of part 2, before we get into part 3, I'm going to get the backdrops all finished off, get those in place and get track down and probably have trains running again before we even start part 3. So that'll be probably a few weeks again. So, thank you for joining me today, and hope to see you again on another Trains on Tuesday. Bye for now, everyone.